Let me, first of all, welcome the co-organizers, the German Development Cooperation through ABF, and as well our good friends from the OA, CPS as well. So all of you are welcome, and all protocol observed. Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of AUDA NEPAD, the CEO of AUDA NEPAD, Madam Navdos Bekele Thomas, and on behalf of all my colleagues, I want to tell you that we are privileged actually to be the co-organizers of this training online actually conference. The question actually that conference tries to respond to is, can we actually get to prosperity from climate smart agribusiness with Africa and for Africa? That's actually it's a good question, and it's very much possible. So the conference prosperity from climate smart agribusiness with and for Africa on climate change, on the impact of climate change and the opportunities of climate change for African economies and agribusinesses, especially African MSMEs along agri-based value chain, for us is key. Right now in the continent, we have about 100 million micro, small and medium enterprises. And though only about 10% of them are working directly in the agricultural field, more than additional 20% are actually working in the food industry. So the numbers are speaking for themselves. That means that, especially in African cities, about 1/3 of the businesses, one or another way, working in the agri-business value chain directly. Then you have to add as well the indirect actually businesses and workers. I think that represent a huge area with a huge opportunities and impact on our economies. Right now, as of today, sub-Saharan African countries, we account for less than 4% of the global emissions, but we receive only 5% of total climate finance outside the OECD. It's actually an interesting number, and few African countries have even accessed or have been certified access to climate finance funds. We know the reasons, and we are actually working on that, by the way. But that means that innovation and investments actually are necessarily, they are key, they are important, and they would definitely help us to make our businesses much more smarter in terms of climate adaptation, climate mitigation, but we need to invest actually in there. So African businesses, especially the MSMEs, can and have actually the potential to become climate resilient, climate smart, but they need actually the right knowledge. They need as well the right skills. They need to access to data. They need as well to design services, solutions, and they need as well to be supported by right policies and appropriate but also adapted institutions, and that's actually key. Especially this last one, adapted to policies and institutions. So we believe that this conference that brings together knowledge and concepts about technologies for adaptation to climate change and as well for carbon sequestration, especially. This conference that actually brings as well innovative products and services in terms of data, data systems, but also conference that we talk about carbon markets, climate finance, and institutions and the network that actually we need to have on the ground to go to this prosperity for us is key. I would like as well to add that, by the way, the conference is very much aligned with our mandate as a development institution, the premier African development institutions. Our mandate is about coordinating and executing priority regional and continental projects that promote regional integration towards an accelerated realization of our Agenda 2063. And but also to strengthen the capacity of our member states, regional bodies, and advance knowledge-based advisory support. It's not only for the member state, but it's really as well for our businesses. So this conference that brings all the actors together, especially from public sector and private sector, that brings as well experts, businesses, professional organizations from the continent, but also from the Caribbean, the Pacific, Canada, Europe, with more than 500 people that we registered, as mentioned by Dr. Hamadi previously for us, is key. Some of the conversation we are going to have in this conference will include climate smart agribusiness in Africa and the needs, thinking, and then learning how we need to think and how we need to learn out of the boxes. So how can we innovate? This conference will talk as well about CO2, carbon dioxide. We'll talk as well about climate finance, and we'll talk about how to access to tailored investments. So this is some of the topic that we are going to talk about. We'll see as well contribution from African MSMEs, especially in agribusiness, and how this contribution is done toward significant effort to adapt to climate change, but also to mitigate the effects of the climate change. We will have as well the opportunity to explore how African Continental Free Trade Area, the ACFTA, can actually present opportunities for entrepreneurs, but also opportunities for partnerships, and how those partnerships actually are key to unlock potential for investments and potential for in countries at the regional level, but also at the continental level. So it's actually noteworthy that discussions and the deliberations may be used as well to inform future negotiations and support planning of the next COP that's happening in Egypt, in Sharm el-Sheikh, and on which actually we are all going to be there and meet there. So, ladies and gentlemen, these are the few words that I would like to share with you on behalf of our CEO, on behalf of our colleagues, the technical team, and definitely I will be there with you and all my colleagues together. And we look forward actually to an exciting exchange and to an exciting exchange. I'm sure that we are all going to learn together. So I'm asked actually to declare the conference officially open. I think it's part of the protocol. So let me just say the conference is officially open. Thank you very much. Thanks.
Thank you.